All right, welcome. Today, we're digging into a choice that, honestly, a lot of people just gloss over when they're picking out new floors: the thickness of the laminate. We're going to put 8mm and 12mm head to head in the ultimate showdown to figure out which one is actually right for your home. So, let's get right into it. So, picture this. You've spent weeks, maybe even months, searching for that perfect color. You know the one, that rustic oak or that cool modern gray. You've got the samples, you've seen them in every light, but have you thought about the thickness? Because that's where the real magic happens, or where the real trouble can start. And hey, don't just take my word for it. This is a great quote from a flooring expert. Thickness is the backbone of your floor. It really is. It's not just some number on the side of the box. It literally dictates how the floor feels, how it sounds, and most importantly, how long it's going to last. Yeah, it's so easy to get distracted by all the cool patterns and finishes. But that little measurement in millimeters, that's what's going to determine the floor's durability, how it sounds when people are walking around, and whether you get that solid, satisfying feeling under your feet. It's the one detail that can take a floor from just looking good to actually being good. So let's meet our two main contenders. These are the ones you're going to see most often. In one corner, we've got the super popular, widely used 8mm laminate. And in the other corner, it's heavyweight challenger, the 12mm laminate. Now, it might only be a 4mm difference, but trust me, as you're about to see, it changes everything. To make this super clear, let's use an analogy. Think of the 8mm laminate as your trusty, reliable sedan. You know, it gets the job done, it's affordable, it's a smart, practical choice. The 12mm, on the other hand, well, that's your luxury SUV. It's built tougher, it's more comfortable, and it can handle pretty much anything you throw at it. The ride, just feels completely different. Okay, so let's start with our sedan, the 8mm. Look, this is one of the most popular choices out there for a reason. First off, it's budget-friendly, which is a huge deal. The planks are also lighter, which makes it a dream if you're doing it yourself. It's really perfect for those quieter spots in your house with moderate traffic, like bedrooms or home office. Now for the luxury SUV, the 12mm. The second you step on this stuff, you feel it. It just feels substantial, kind of like real hardwood. That extra thickness means it's way more durable for those busy, high-traffic areas. And it does an amazing job absorbing sound. It makes the whole house feel quieter. This is what you want for a busy living room or a main hallway. All right, so the analogies are fun, but let's get down to brass tacks. Let's look at the hard data. We're going to put these two right next to each other and compare the features that are actually going to impact your wallet, your weekend, and your home for years and years to come. Okay, now this chart really lays it all out, doesn't it? Look at durability. 8mm is good, but 12mm is excellent, especially for heavy traffic. Then there's sound and comfort. The 12mm is just superior. But the two big ones to look at here are price and lifespan. You pay more up front for the 12mm, no doubt, but you could get an extra decade of life out of your floor. That's the real trade-off right there. I mean, let's just pause on that for a second. An extra 10 years. With good care, a 12mm floor can last up to 25 years. The 8mm tops at around 15. So this really changes the decision from just buying a floor to making a long-term investment in your home. Of course, that long-term investment, it does come with a higher price tag. You could be looking at a difference of $1.50, maybe more, per square foot. And for a big room, believe me, that adds up fast. This is the number that makes the decision for a lot of people, so you've really got to weigh it against that longer lifespan. Okay, we need to talk about something crucial. It's the secret villain of a bad flooring job, and it's hiding right under those brand new planks you're about to install. I'm talking about your subfloor. I'm serious. You can go out and buy the most beautiful, most expensive flooring in the world, but if your subfloor isn't right, you are setting yourself up for a nightmare. We're talking squeaks, gaps opening up between the planks, a floor that just wears out years before it's supposed to. Your subfloor is the foundation, and it has to be solid. And this is where that extra thickness really, really matters. See, 8mm laminate is thinner and more flexible, so it needs an almost perfectly flat surface underneath it. Any bumps will put a ton of stress on the little locking systems. But the 12mm, it's thicker, it's more rigid. It can actually bridge over minor dips and bumps. It's like driving a truck over a bumpy road instead of a small car. You're just not going to feel the imperfections as much. So we've looked at our contenders, we've gone through the data, and we've uncovered the secret of the subfloor. Now let's pull it all together into a simple guide to help you make the right call for your specific situation. So you should go with the 8mm sedan if, number one, your budget is the top priority. If you're working on a room that doesn't get a ton of traffic, like a guest room or an office. If you're a pretty confident DIYer and you know for a fact your subfloor is nice and level. And lastly, it's a great choice for an upper floor where you might want to keep the weight down. Now, you're going to want to invest in that 12mm SUV if you have a busy house with kids, pets, and just a lot of action. If you really want that quiet, solid, premium feel under your feet. If you suspect your subfloor isn't perfect. And, most importantly, if you see this as a long-term investment that you don't want to think about again for the next 20 years. Just one last little tip on installation. You can definitely DIY either one, but those lighter 8mm boards are way easier to handle for a weekend project. With the heavier, more expensive 12mm boards, it's often worth the money to just call in a pro, to make sure that bigger investment is installed perfectly without any costly mistakes. And that brings us right back to the final question, the one that only you can answer. When you look at your room, your budget, and how you live, what's it going to be? The smart, dependable sedan or the powerful, built-to-last SUV? The choice is yours.